Hi everybody, I am Bimal and today I will be discussing uh, what are the positives and negative sides of this free basic especially, and in general I will be talking about net neutrality, zero rating, internet.org, zero plan. These are all words we have been hearing a lot, and you might have notifications of your friends supporting it, and whereas some people are protesting on roads, and websites like Paytm have whenever you log in they give you a page from where you can be report to try against it, and Facebook is giving you chance to report in favor of it. So I will be covering without taking any hard stance of whether it is right or wrong, like most of the articles are doing. I will be giving try to give a fair amount of view of both sides. So let us start by understanding these terms and what they are meant to do. First of all, I will go through these terms. Free basic. Free basic stand as a front project of Facebook, not as a whole, but Facebook is the majority who is leading this project, and some websites which collaborate with Facebook so as to provide you without using your data connection or paying anything. You can access those websites. That's why they are saying free. Even if uh, you see the advertisement which Facebook is doing, that why don't you get anything for free, you can get everything for free, like this type of things, that they have termed it basic, free basics. So some basic facilities given to people for free. And another word that I previously used was TRAI, TRAI, that is Com Regulatory Authority of India. This is a regulatory authority which normally doesn't steps in until unless it feels. Recently, it stepped in regulating for the call rates, that it shouldn't be that much high. It has set some cap, and also fixed in a limit of call drops, that it should be within 2%, otherwise company will be fined, and it has given them some limitation. So it can regulate where it feels like regulating, and TRAI has asked for people to give reviews whether they want this free basics to get implemented in India or not. That is called public consultancy. So views of the public will be very important and crucial, and that's why everyone is trying to influence and tilt these views on their side. Now, first of all, covering all the terms, another thing is we are having is internet.org. That was also previously proposed by Facebook with the same aspect, that of free basic. Then we have net neutrality and Bharti Airtel zero plan. It was Bharti Airtel was combining with Flipkart to give free access to its app that Bharti Airtel won't charge you for using Flipkart, and then a lot of outrage happened on net, and both Airtel and Flipkart acknowledge that they are in favor of net neutrality. So now let us understand this word net neutrality. Net neutrality says that, for example, if you have a wire connecting your system, so this is what is helping data from a common server to come in. So this particular operator or whoever is giving you this connection particular part should not distinguish between data packets of one side or another, or vary your cost if you access one site or another. That means it should be neutral for all datas. It should not vary their speed, it should not vary their cost based on the site or any particular thing. So equal priority and everything equal for all data. That is net neutrality. Now, uh, why all these things are happening is that a major outcry which we are hearing for net neutrality is that uh, if net neutrality get compromised, if people, some apps are freed, then the new growing apps will not be able to compete. Let me give you a very simple example, that today you felt like making an app or making a business like Amazon or Flipkart. You want to sell something, and for that you need to launch an app. But Amazon app is for free, available to all people, and for their app, for your app, they need to pay something to the service provider. That will give you an added disadvantage and an advantage to them. So this becomes an unfair trade practice, and many other equality and constitutional rights are also compromised. And we never want that there shouldn't be innovation. When innovation ends, human generation is not worth living, and everyone should have opportunity to grow. This is the main argument that is put against this neutrality. So I will be basically talking about this free basics. So first of all, before telling you about free basics, I will like you to tell about the features of the people who are using internet. Because what we mainly think while using internet is the situation we are having on internet is same for all, but it's not. Rural people are having different situation. People living on mountains or hilly trains or difficult trains are having a different situation. Even in urban pockets, by the economic status of the people and social status, these all things vary from region to region, and low income, high income group, these all things vary. Internet access, some people have unlimited internet, some people have 1 GB, 2 GB, and these all things are there. So just quoting some of the facts, right now India has the second largest internet user base, that is 402 million. Only China is greater than us, that is 600 million users. And in but beside this, the internet penetration in India is only 19%, and especially if in the rural areas, there are only 6.7 active internet user. Active internet user means that that particular person should visit net, use internet at least once a month. And regarding Facebook, we have 135 million internet users in India for Facebook. So these are some key facts which help us analyze the scenario. If you haven't got much idea, let me elaborate why I quoted these figures and what these mean. India's population right now stands somewhere around 1.3 billion, and out of which 402 million have access to this internet. That means for every one person in India has internet, there are two other person who don't have access to internet at all. And that is the main argument of Facebook, or even I will be in last quoting about Project Loom of Google. So this argument they have put it, that how can this one person speak about two others who is not having internet at all, because whole outcry is going on um, the people who are having already having internet. Then second figure which I quoted, rural penetration of 6.7%. So let us understand why it is low. Simple fact, like infrastructure, we don't have speed in rural areas. Because let me give you a very simple example. I have a friend who lives in Bihar in some a village and studies in NIT Patna, and when he go to his village, his net accessing speed reduces drastically. He is unable to view any single videos, which we in a one day we view hundreds, not hundred, but at least 5 to 10 videos we easily view. But same people don't have, they have limitation on speed. So these all factors contribute, and the economic status is obviously something. Infrastructure, economic status, and awareness, these things are a whole of a reason for many problems, and this is just one of them. Now let us look at the positive side of this free basic. First of all, it will reduce the digital divide in India. By this digital divide, I mean to say that if you are having access to internet, you are having access to better education resources, better awareness of what particular policies government is announcing, and whole a set of resources based on health information and all this. When a person doesn't have this internet in this particular world, where books aren't that much sufficient to give you the real time updates, because writing books or anything like that, and you can't even purchase all of the books, and we have any doubt in mind, we just google out. But remember, two people don't have internet in India at all, so they can't even google those things. So there is a digital divide created, and then they are competing with us in the same exams. How can we expect them to perform? And this divide will increase because this generation who already have internet will get better education, and the lower one will always be deprived of that. The possible solution of this are many, which we will be talking in later on, when we will be saying that this is not the only possible solution, but yeah, this is said as a positive side and quoted by many others of the free basic. Second is, Facebook is talking about creation of infrastructure. They initially, when this internet.org plan of Facebook come up, they collaborated, did partnership with many companies, because you need to give phone also to them, infrastructure, build towers, communication systems, and handset, because you should realize that it's not about giving data. They should have a phone to use, and with no one is talking about it. We all are assuming that everyone have a smartphone, they just don't have a network in them. So they collaborated with companies like Samsung, Ericsson, MediaTek, which is a good processor, making low-end processor, making cheap processor, making company. Then Opera Software, Nokia, and Qualcomm. These all big brand names contributed to form all these infrastructure. So this will increase the penetration of the internet and better infrastructure for people. Better speed might be in the coming time. And third particular point which we all are talking about, and Narendra Modi, PM, is mostly saying that digital India. It will help in digitalization. We have done LPG cylinder on real time basis of direct benefit transfer. We transfer to their account, and it will be better if they can assess their accounts using some free internet, some internet, not just free internet. They at least should have internet for these all things, and this can be done better, because many a times we are not we have to just enter in register, and there are a lot of fraud and many other things and leakages, and we talk about corruption. So all, if all of things get digitalized, they will become fast, and transparency will be more. These all advantages will be there. And last advantage will be the efficiency of the system of a country as a whole. We can have a better demographic dividend, better people, because internet increases the capacity of an individual to perform, and that is what we have seen in some videos by Facebook, that if this person would have got internet, his life could have been very different, and he could have the potential to use it. We always says that freedom is about not being deprived of being ability to achieve that particular thing. Means somebody, if a person takes away a choice, means doesn't give you internet, that is taking away of a choice, and that is what he has taken away some freedom from you. As Amrita Sen, Nobel Prize winner, has said, uh, and he talks about development as freedom. It's mean freedoms to study in whichever college, and whatever education you want, whatever things you want to Google. So these all things can be achieved, and this free basic at least project that they can help us in achieving those particular things. So these are the positive aspects we have talked about. Now let us see that why this is facing a rebuttal from uh, the startups and many other networking sites, and not just networking, some intellectuals. So Uh, First of all, what they quote is that this violates net neutrality. Now let us understand how it violates net neutrality. If you are a user of Reliance, well, if this projects get implemented, if you are a user of Reliance, you will get access to 30 or 50 particular websites for free. And for that matter, remember Google is not part of it, which we usually use, and I will come and explain that particular thing later. So those 30 or 50 particular sites data get an added advantage over other datas, first of all. Second, the operator which they have partnership with, people will have a edge or inclination about going to that particular operator, and not all operator will have level field playing now. So the two major aspects of level playing field and uh, treating each data packet uh, equally is being violated completely, and that is why they said it's against net neutrality. Now what I believe is that we should not stick to some point that this violate this and that's why we are not expecting. What we should question is it rationality. Even if it's violate, I have no problem at all, but by violating what particular problems is it creates, that is important. And it creates problems for the new rising up startups. India is the third largest startup, third largest number of startups are in India. So this can hamper the growing ecosystem of startups, because the company who are already rich will give money and be part of it, and others will have to thrive hard now to enter the market. And that is why we talk about not violating net neutrality. Now second thing is that, let us imagine if these projects get implemented now, what you are assessing, and will be there a gatekeeper that Facebook will see that you are assessing these 30 particular sites, their content and everything. And this will be a discrimination against open internet. Internet grew simply because of a reason, because of the billions of users can put thing on internet, and at the same time see anything they want on the internet. But by this particular project, it will be you will have a preferential view of assessing free resources available to you. Now though it will be a far sighted or way too negative, but if we're discussing negative aspects, it won't be bad to mention it that, let's imagine that Facebook need a particular thing and it is getting benefited. Obviously it's not a charitable, it's not doing it for charity. So they need something that this particular if people use of this particular thing will help me out. And it has a control over 30 particular websites which have control over the mind of more peoples, because only most of the people are viewing those particular sites only, so it can manipulate the content. We won't be able to have that much open internet. So the whole purpose of the internet of providing whatever resources you want equally will be defeated. This is an argument, but the counter argument to this is, at any time you can pay and visit websites if you want to. So what's wrong? If someone, it's better than having no access than to have at least some access to some website. At least they will get something is better than nothing. That is what they are saying. So we will see this, it, how this counter argument can also be countered. Or then I have mentioned earlier, third point, that Google hasn't signed up. And what we know is that major source of information for us is Google. And though it will be a bit hard to say, Google is also slight gatekeeper, because we mostly visit um, Google, and the preferences by the order and how it projects what particular thing, some particular sites come up on the top always. So but we don't know the internal mathematics, but still that's not that much biased, we can say. But yeah, if we should be fair to all, then one particular legal issue we have, that they are using the genetic term free and basics, which appeal to people a lot. But legally, they cannot do this. You cannot use generic words for brands and products. And one more issue we are having, that they are outside the purview of Indian law, and neither they pay any tax in India. Beside having, I earlier told you, 135 million users, your India is not gonna benefit in terms of tax revenues, which help later in infrastructure and many. That's a different debate, that whether we should get tax or not. Now, one more, we pay interest to these monopolies with our data, which can be monetized. What these particular website and how this Facebook earn is by selling the our personal data. And though Facebook has introduced recently some of the safeguards, but they aren't yet sufficient, and we cannot be sure. We just click on I accept terms and condition, and obviously no one of us has time to go through it, or even if we go through, our all friends are there, we will have to join. So then they can sell those data, and they can influence many of our things and have a lot of information. Even if you delete your photo from Facebook, it's remain in their database, and you can remember the vulnerability of this particular thing. And if Facebook does anything with your data, you can't question it in Indian court, Indian law. You can't bring Facebook to that. Now, one more thing. The major obstruction for this all was regional language, because the people we are saying that we will get in, bring them up, bring them in contact, bring internet, we will connect them to internet. How will you do? Because most of those people still don't understand English. They need these things on regional languages. So Facebook have said earlier that yeah, we are working on having those things in regional languages, but they are still not able to have that much developed, because some regional languages are somewhat like just the area speaks, and Facebook have to put a lot of research for that. And for those whom you are talking about, you need to put real hard work, which we haven't seen. It seems on the prima facie that it could be monopoly or anything like that. Now, some of the fascinating terms people use, and I will just try to elaborate and quote some of them, and then I will quote it and tell what particular solution and negative and aspect, and show you the way out of this. Some people say it is the digital colonization by the West, that they're digitally trying to acquire everything. Initially, they did build colonies to grab that raw material. Now they are digitally conquering all this. By this, they will have control over the data of whole world. By because remember a simple particular thing I will like for you to understand. When the a war happens between any country, and US GPS system is of US, remember, so they have access to information, and most vital information of roads and every particular thing. So I'm not saying that it is bad or anything, but I'm just telling you that this is digital colonization by the West, what it is stand for. You can be or more elaborated. Second is creation of have versus have nots, that this will divide people, that some have internet and some have not. And have not includes those who are having just a particular website SSS. And this divide, because if you are getting free, you will stick to it, most people will stick to it. And third particular thing is differential pricing for data services, that if you are trying to access Facebook, you will have different price. If you are using this particular operator for the same website, you have to pay different prices. So these are the some terms I try to explain. Now, what is the way out for us? And as try is asking for us to show the way out, that what it should do. So first thing, let us put a simple and bold question to the Facebook, that are you doing it for the well-being of people, or are you doing it for profit? Obviously they are saying that they are doing it for the well-being of people, so they should pay money, data, or time, or anything else directly to customer internet at price. So let me elaborate what point I first said, because I said in a bit tough language. So what I mean to say, that if you download Uber app and you travel, they give you 250 or something 500 rupees free travel for the first time. Or you download some app, you got 10 rupees recharge in your phone, or you download some app, you get some data. That is what they are saying, that if some company want people to have access to that particular internet, so you can have can reduce the cost of handset, you can reduce the cost of internet it will be talking. And if even if you want to give them for free and build infrastructure for free, that is what, if you are saying that you are doing it for pure charity purpose, then yes, we are okay, you do it. You just give me access to all particular website, not just one sub part of net. That will be just a subset of net. I am giving you access and I'm saying that yes, you are connected to the world. Facebook is not the world. Might be for someone, but in reality world, internet world is much greater than just Facebook or some limited websites. So yes, if you really want to help, we welcome you. You're talking about free basic. We encourage and we appreciate that you are talking about internet as a basic right. So we have just a simple request that yes, you are doing this much charity, so do a little bit for us more, that give free data or free internet infrastructure or handsets to the poor people who can assess the website what they want, what knowledge they need. If they need agricultural information, if they need information of rain for their harvest purpose, if they need education for their child, so they can use according to their convenience. Get the access to internet as a whole, not just as a subset. Second particular thing is that why are we trying to differentiate the progress and from developed world and developing? In developed world you don't talk about these particular thing, you say we all have internet. Why don't we let this natural course also happen in developing countries? Some counter this argument by saying that it will take some time and we need to grow faster and we need to give helping help to the developing countries people. If you really want to help them out without creating monopoly or anything in back of your mind, what particular thing you can do is that increase competitiveness, introduce more operator, give more bands, so that, because let me give you a very simple thing. We today doing calls are lot less costlier, and government hasn't just done this by giving monopoly to him. This is just by increasing the competition and a bit of regulation. Today, by competition, call rates are getting reduced, and every person mostly can do calls. But at the same time, the data connection package rates are increasing day by day. The reason being, there isn't much competitiveness. You mostly prefer Vodafone, Airtel, these type of towers. And secondly, we need to provide them infrastructure, more user base. And one simple thing, that 2G has been a long day back. Whatever money they invested, they have now recovered back. So we can reduce the cost of 2G drastically by increasing competition. And this is how developed world made the internet uh, a bit less costlier. PPP, you can Google it out, it is purchasing power parity. In that terms, in India, internet is a lot costlier. So we need to bring that low so that all people can have access to this internet by paying. Why do you want them to get for free? Just develop them, build infrastructure, give them jobs, educate them. That's the government role, and government should increase the competitiveness between companies also so as to reduce the cost of tariffs, not just providing a platform or subset and saying that I have achieved digital India. No, one counter argument we all have in this conclusion is that, but it won't be a bad start to just give them access to 30 and then increase. Um, yes, it's not a bad start, but it should not be monopolized. It can be beginning of dictatorship. So, my final call will for you will be to just search a bit, put your mind, think. What I am gonna send, try a message is that don't just leave it in the hands of these private players. Just start regulating this particular thing a bit also. Not let this disbalance happen. Startups are creating job. We all last time Man Ki Baat Modi ended with Startup India. So if we really want to progress, we need these startups. We need the innovative ideas to grow. But at the same time, we need internet access for the poor. For this, we need to reduce digital divide. That is a major concern of our nation. If we really want to have demographic dividend working for us and become a high income earning nation. So we need to be cautious about and negotiate the terms with Facebook. We should not just really discard or uh, take it as the same pill. We need to negotiate and understand what Facebook actually means for a particular matter, any particular thing, and how is it gonna hamper, and how can we reduce the negative aspects and increase things in positive list. How can we assure net neutrality and even then integrate Facebook's this idea. We need to figure out a better solution and negotiate the terms. It's not just yes or no. We need internet. India, 66% population of India need you, but not on these particular terms. Not by compromising our private data, our thinking and everything, because internet is what help us in analyzing and giving us impartial views. So I urge everyone to search and make and give try some better and concrete path for them to lead. Thanks. By this I end. Thanks a lot for watching.